Hi, everybody. Welcome again to the second Ringside Rebels podcast. We are reviewing AEW Fyter Fest Night 1. It's your boy, Adam, and I'm always here, as always, with my partner,
Cam. That's me.
There we go. And we're here to go ahead and break down Fyter Fest, say what we like, what we didn't like. First, I wanted to go ahead and just kind of hit on our predictions from last week, actually. So our predictions, Cam said that Carl Anderson was going to win the IWGP US title. That was not correct. I think
prediction.
I had Moxley there.
A bold claim.
Very bold. I had my own.
It didn't pay
I had
back.
a couple bold ones last week, too. We both had Christian over Matt Hardy, so that happened. He had Darby over Ethan Page, and I had Ethan Page, of course. Darby Allin wins the coffin match in the main event. We'll talk about that. I had Ricky Starks. I thought it was Ricky Starks' night last week, and I was right. Cam had Brian Cage, and then I think we both had Yuka Sakazaki over Penelope Ford. There was another match, which we'll get to, Sammy versus Yuta Wheeler. I think we both know that Sammy was going to win that one, though. Interesting stuff.
I love me some Spanish guys.
The show... Sammy is awesome, and we love Sammy here at the Ringside Rebels, 100%. The show starts off Moxley versus Carl Anderson. This was a great match. I was very entertained by this one. I thought this was a perfect way to start out the show.
You said Carl hit like 4 finishers on Moxley. I didn't even notice. I was like, oh, you're right. That is, oh boy.
Yeah, he hit like 4 of his cutters, and I was like, dude, what are you doing? Stop kicking out of his finisher. I don't know if it was counting as his finisher or whatever. I think his real finisher is when he has him on his shoulders and does it.
I liked Kingston immediately getting rid of Gallows was really nice. It was different.
That was pretty cool. Yeah, you almost had a little bit of that in the Scorpio Sky appearing in the coffin match, which we'll talk about here. So, yeah, that was really cool. I like that. Very nice that Kingston's still coming to the aid of Moxley after all they've been through there. So that's nice. It kind of makes you wonder, where the hell was Moxley last week when Kingston had a mouthful of thumbtacks, you know?
Yeah.
Really makes
you and I were just like, where's Moxley? It would have made sense for him to come out at least, because they had just announced he was going to be on there next week. It's like, well, he could come out later. Nope, that was just weird.
Yeah, that was weird. A little weird handling of the booking there, but I mean, AEW is not perfect, especially when it comes to booking. So, yeah, you take the good with the bad, I guess. Anderson really reminded me how great he is in this match. I absolutely loved him in this match. Moxley was really good too, hitting all of his cues, making everything look really smooth, really good. And I mean, there's not too much to say. This was just awesome.
Is Moxley?
Yeah, it's so.
I was like, he's getting.
Yeah, I think so. Well, he shaved his head.
Okay, I was wondering.
He definitely shaved his head. Yeah, I had it written down, actually. I have written down, Mox looks 50 right here.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he's still really smooth and really crisp in the ring, but he definitely looked a little bit older since he shaved his head, which, I mean, is kind of funny, but whatever. Great match. I thought this was awesome. I gave it 3.5 stars out of 5. I know you're not into like the whole star rating deal, but sometimes I do this the star rating for the ones I like. So, man, whatever. It was a thumbs up. Andrade is next up. Andrade El Idolo gets interviewed, and he says he wants the Death Triangle. So maybe Andrade versus Pac, Andrade versus Phoenix, Andrade versus Penta. Any single one of those sound awesome.
Oh, that sounds great.
That's your wet dream there, Cam. I know that.
That sounds great. I love Penta. He's my second favorite boy. But yeah.
The second boy.
Yeah.
Second boy. Moving on, we have Ricky Starks versus. I have Cage. For a second, I thought it was Christian Cage. No, it's Brian Cage. Which one? The Steel Cage?
Yeah.
Brian Cage or Christian Cage? Are we talking about Adam Page?
I legit wanted
All Ego Ethan Page.
Every time I look at Brian Cage, I'm like, this guy's so freaking jacked. I always want them to like make him do some crazy strength crap. I know that's kind of overdone with like WWE having freaking Braun Strowman push an ambulance, quote unquote. Could totally did that for real. But having like Brian Cage do some stupid strength crap, like do like what Mark Henry did, because I bet you money he could actually do some of that kind of crap, like break a chain, put him in a cage match, and he breaks the wall down. I don't know. I just think it'd be really cool to have him do some crazy crap, because the dude's
That sounds awesome. He is really good. Cage is awesome.
He's always fun.
He really. I agree, and I think honestly, he showed off how awesome he is in this match, and how well that he could work as a babyface. Honestly,
yeah, like
I thought it was really cool.
One of the things I loved about Cage is that when I first saw him, I was like, this guy looks like just a big meathead who's not going to be that great. Like he'll probably be a big hoss fun to watch against other big hosses, but no, he can go as a wrestler in general. The dude's really good. Like,
yeah, have you seen anything of Cage outside of AEW?
Yeah, I saw,
because I know he was in Impact for a while.
saw some matches, and for a while, for whatever reason, I always mistook him for Nick Gage. Freaking that crazy guy from like CZW who just is crazy. But
yeah, I mean the names are close enough. I get that.
I was just, God, this guy's huge. But yeah, I wanted Brian.
There was the point in the match. Yeah, no, I mean Brian would have been a great winner to go ahead and retain, but I think to go forward with the storyline, here's what happened at the end of the match. Team Taz. So you got Hook, you got Powerhouse Hobbs. They're both ringside for this match, and both guys, both Starks and Cage, are technically in Team Taz at this point. So Starks goes to use the FTW title while the ref is distracted. Powerhouse Hobbs pulls it away from him. Commentary does not sell this very well, but Powerhouse Hobbs takes the title away from Ricky Starks. So Brian Cage and Ricky Starks kind of get back to the action. And then it's like 1 minute later, Hook distracts the referee on purpose, and Powerhouse Hobbs decks Brian Cage with the FTW title. Commentary is like, oh my God, it's such a swerve. And I'm thinking to myself, this was a dumb swerve. First of all, I don't know why he faked, like just in storyline. There's no reason for Powerhouse Hobbs to fake going against Ricky Starks. Brian Cage probably didn't even see that. So I don't even know why they did that spot to start off with.
What if Ricky Starks hadn't kicked out of that F5? Powerhouse Hobbs would have.
That was crazy. I can't believe he kicked out of the F5.
Will Hobbs would have looked very stupid.
Oh yeah.
If he didn't.
That's true. So Hobbs decks Cage with the FTW title. Starks turns around, spears Cage. I don't know how the hell a spear from Ricky Starks puts down Brian Cage, first of all. But since, I mean, just look at the size difference. It's like, what the hell?
Tiny.
But at the end of the day, that's what puts Cage down for the 3. New FTW champion Ricky Starks. 5 minutes into this match, the crowd's chanting, "This is awesome." I did not think the match was awesome at that point.
Yeah.
As it progressed, I really got into this match and the story of this match. I thought the spot with Powerhouse Hobbs was dumb. Just the first one, just because it's like, what the hell are you doing? Why would you fake that to then do a fake swerve? It didn't make sense to me, but whatever. At the end of the day, what happened. What are your thoughts on this match?
I'm just waiting for Brian to get his win back. I want him to turn Starks into a pretzel. But yeah.
Yeah, he might. I don't know if he's going to get his win back. Maybe he'll find a group of 2 other guys to go ahead and tag with versus the rest of Team Taz. Yeah. I don't know. That'll be interesting to go ahead and look to the future for. That would be funny. That would be very funny. I am actually what I think should happen. I think Brian Cage versus Miro could be a good money match.
Ooh, yeah, I always love a big hoss fight.
Yeah, I think that could be a really good, really entertaining one. Obviously, I still think that Jungle Boy is the guy to take the TNT title off of Miro in the future, as I've said before. But it would be really cool to go ahead and see Cage versus Miro at some point, since Cage is looking to be a babyface here. Right after this match, Cody comes in and he gets on commentary and he starts screaming and he goes, "Malachi Black, you don't do this. Tommy End, whatever your name is, you don't come in here and kick a 60-year-old man. He's defenseless." And he's like complaining on commentary, and then he gets a mic, gets in the ring. There's a video promo from Malachi Black. He tells a story about the crippled horse, and he says, "Cody, you're a crippled horse. I'm here to put you down." And and Cody yells, "Well, why don't you get out here?" So lights turn off. He comes back on, and then they get in a pull apart brawl. I don't know why they're doing a pull apart brawl this early in the feud, but whatever. Any thoughts on this one? I thought it was pretty cool.
Oh yeah, I love that Malachi is doing some Undertaker crap right now because we do not have enough of that weird mystic stuff, in my opinion. It's not even like mystic, it's just he somehow is able to turn off the lights and then he's just there. Also, I mentioned it to you while we were watching it. I like the kind of yin and yang going on with Cody wearing all white and Malachi wearing all black.
That is really cool. It does kind of demonstrate the differences of the two sides of the heel and the face dynamic here. So that's a very great point you bring up. I think that this feud going forward will have a lot of symbolism. We've already seen it 2 weeks in a row, actually, with the lights going off on Cody's match. Once again, we don't know if that was a botch or not for the lighting production crew, but if it wasn't, that's beautiful storytelling.
I watched a video and it was Malachi Black. I don't know his real name, but it was him. I'm assuming he's like a Twitch streamer to a point. And he said on his stream that it was on purpose, but I'm not sure how, I don't know if he'd want to throw the light guys under the bus or if he's just trying to save it. Or if it was intentional. It's impossible to tell, but I'll take his word for it.
Fair enough. It's nice that we have kind of some more involved storytelling in AEW. Most of the stories are pretty basic, and quite honestly, I think this one, even just after 2 weeks, is one of the best storylines that AEW has to offer at this current time. Yeah. So I'm really excited to see where this one goes forward, and I am loving this so far. This is one of the things that's going to keep me watching week to week, I will say. And then moving on to another thing that keeps us watching week to week, we have the promo from Hangman Adam Page with Tony Schiavone in the ring. Hangman wants the AEW title. He calls out Omega, and then every person from the Elite comes out. You got the Bucks, you got Cutler in the back, you got even the Good Brothers. I think even Carl Anderson was out there. I'm not sure, but everybody from the Elite was out there, and Hangman's the only one there by himself. They start pretty much it was Matt Jackson actually who goes into the ring and he starts kind of talking trash to Hangman, and then Hangman starts fighting him, and then all the Elite try to go ahead and circle him around the ring. Dark Order comes in for the save there.
I appreciate the Dark Order. Okay, I appreciate what they're doing, because if they weren't here,
they were not bad in this segment.
If they weren't here, Adam would just be getting completely overwhelmed, and I would hate it.
That's true. Yet at the end of the day, the Dark Order payoff for this Elite feud is decent. It is decent. I love John Silver. I think the Dark Order are okay. I just don't know if they should continuously be main event players.
Yeah,
personally,
that's fair.
I don't know if they should continue to be main event players even into Hangman's reign. I don't know if they're going to play backup or play babysitter to him in his eventual AEW title reign. Who knows? But what happened from this promo segment, whatever you want to call it, is the Dark Order and the Elite are going to go head to head in a 5-on-5, basically a Survivor Series match. We don't know when it's going to happen, but this one is going to be awesome.
Yeah, I'm excited.
At the end of the day, I love this segment. I thought it was one of the best.
God, I am so...
Definitely one of the best in all of AEW.
I've been hyping myself up for months, but I am so ready for Hangman to be champion. Like you wouldn't believe.
I know, dude. I told you last week that Hangman cooled down for me considerably since getting kind of paired up with the Dark Order. But really, with the crowds back in, it's really making me get sold on
Yeah,
Hangman going forward from here. So
crowds
I'm all
lose
for
it
it. I
whenever
love
he
it.
shows up.
I know they're nuclear. He is the most over person on the show, and oh man, we'll have to wait until John Cena comes back during a crowd, and we'll have to compare these crowd pops
Yeah.
because this is crazy. This is insane. This is like they need to have Hangman win the title. Not having Hangman win the title would be like not giving Rusev a title during Rusev Day. It would be like not giving Daniel Bryan the title during when he was super over. That's what it would be like.
Yeah,
So
they almost
I'm
did that.
really excited to see what happens. And don't remind
I
me.
mean, why else would you bring
Let's
Batista
go
back
ahead
if you're
and
just going to lose? Like, that makes no sense. You did not long-term book this. This was last
yeah.
minute because you knew bad things would happen. Anyway,
Yeah, didn't they wanted Batista to win the world title?
yeah.
The plans was Batista wins the world title and then works Daniel Bryan at Payback.
I think it was like because he became a movie star, they're like, oh, we're going to get like how The Rock came back from Hollywood and was super over. It did not go that way.
Yeah, I remember. Okay, sidebar. I remember when I saw the promo for Batista and that his return match was the Rumble. I had just started being a wrestling fan at this point, and I go, Batista's winning the Rumble. So,
I had
and
no
everybody
problem
knew
with
it.
it. I was the one person watching, in, like, a period that was like, yeah, Batista! Because I've loved Batista ever since I
Oh my
was a
god.
kid. Whenever I watched freaking SmackDown in, like, the mid to late 2000s, Batista was my boy. I love Batista.
Batista was great. Like 2008, God, he was like wonderful when he turned heel against Rey Mysterio after they
Yeah,
were
oh my
buddies. That and his World Heavyweight Championship run,
any like
freaking
like
phenomenal.
any match between him and Undertaker is almost always going to be good. Especially their WrestleMania match is one of the most underrated Undertaker matches in my
Oh yeah,
opinion. It's so good.
every Undertaker match after like I think it was 19 or 20, it could be in the running for a 5-star match depending on who you're talking to.
I think
That's how I view it.
I'm trying to remember when CM Punk and him fought because I remember thinking to myself that was like the last great one he had was against CM
29,
Punk.
yeah, because the streak broke at 30.
Yeah, and that
Yeah,
was just hard
that
to
CM Punk
watch.
match was awesome.
Brock Lesnar and Undertaker was hard to watch. And then the other ones were just, well, the
Yeah,
streak's dead, so why do I care?
yeah. I personally liked the Bray Wyatt one. I thought it was good for what it
I would
was.
have liked it
I
more
thought
if
it was
Bray
silly how they
won.
had Bray Wyatt kick out of a tombstone.
I would have,
Yeah,
yeah,
that's
like,
true.
that's the only bad thing about Bray is he never wins the big time, except against Cena at WrestleMania. Then they just killed him because Goldberg. Great.
But then he lost. Before the Fiend, he lost to Cena at WrestleMania.
I know, right? But then Funhouse match.
Yeah, and then he got his win back. Yeah, at what 36?
And then
That was something.
Goldberg just destroys him.
Let's move on here.
I hate that.
Hey, this is definitely a podcast for another time.
Yeah.
I am with you on this one. We could talk about this for a while. Next, MJF and Spears assault Jericho when he's doing an interview with Alex Marvez. MJF says, "You got Jericho versus Spears next week, Fyter Fest Night 2, in what I call a half Extreme Rules match, where Spears can use a chair but Jericho can't." So that was funny. We had a Lance Archer promo earlier, Texas Death Match scheduled for next week on Fyter Fest week 2 as well. So next week we have 1.5 Extreme Rules matches. Matt Hardy versus Christian comes up next, and it was a decent match. Basically, what I have written down is it was Matt Hardy versus Christian. Christian wins with the kill switch. I didn't think there was anything too crazy about this match. There were some good near falls, and I like the spot. Yeah, I like the spot where Hardy did his submission to Leech on the outside, and Christian Cage was just kind of laying dead until an 8 count, and then he had to rush back in the ring. I like that. That was pretty good.
They freaking mentioned how Christian has like never beaten Matt Hardy one-on-one, and I'm like, one, is that true? And two, how many times have they fought one-on-one? I mean, in ECW, they probably fought a
Yeah,
lot.
I'm guessing it's not many
In
times.
ECW, they might have, because
Okay.
they were both on that brand, but that was WWE ECW, so not many people remember that.
Ugh, stop
Yeah.
it. Yeah, exactly. Uh, so yeah, this match was good. It was technically sound. Christian did like this big jump spot off the post on the outside early on in the match. I like that. Picture in picture kind of killed this one for me, quite honestly. I didn't really
It
care once we came
kills
back.
just about
But
anything it touches, unless the match is that
yeah, that's
freaking
true.
long. Yeah.
Yeah. Britt Baker next in the ring with Shivani. Britt Baker, line of the night. I'm thinking of making a line of the night award for best lines I hear. Britt Baker, line of the night. Vicky, you're lucky your last name keeps you relevant in the wrestling world.
Jesus
That one was
Christ.
savage.
Yeah.
Britt Baker's awesome on the mic. So her and Nyla Rose have a match next week on Fyter Fest Night 2. Should be a pretty decent one. Not really sure what to expect, but we'll do predictions at the end here in about a couple minutes. So we have Wheeler Yuta versus Sammy Guevara. Kind of a glorified squash match for Guevara. This is the Dynamite debut for Wheeler Yuta. He's all right. I really liked his athleticism. I liked how he's coming out with the best friends. So always good to hear more of the best friends music.
Yeah.
At least. The funniest part in the match was when it was Wheeler Yuta hitting a 5-star frog splash from the top rope on Sammy Guevara. Excalibur's screaming on commentary, "This is the move that won him all of his matches so far, all of his 2 matches." And Sammy Guevara kicks out of it at 1, and I'm like, "Oh my god, this is his finish, and you're kicking out of it at 1? Way to kill the guy right before he even has a chance to start."
Oh.
Yeah, but yeah, so Wheeler kind of looks like a dork, but at the end of the day, it was a decent debut. I liked his athleticism. His finish sucks because he got kicked out at 1 by freaking Sammy Guevara, but whatever. QT says Cody buried him by the golden shovel in an interview with Shivani backstage, and then pours some sort of drink on Shivani. It was okay. Next, we have Penelope Ford versus Yuka Sakazaki. I have down Yuka wins okay.
Yeah. Her theme song. What is her theme song? Sound like
it's got to be some
Sailor
stupid K-pop
Moon,
or J-pop thing.
Yeah, it sounded like K-pop Sailor Moon.
That's
like, ugh.
I mean, I don't know. I've never heard a Sailor Moon theme song in my life, but her finish is called the Magical Girl Splash.
That's also
where she jumps off the
Magical Girl.
Oh gosh. I don't know if it's Madoka Magica or Sailor Moon, but either way, I don't care. And get her off the TV.
I'd like her a lot
how
more
I feel.
if she had she came onto the stage and then smoke comes up so you can't see her and then she does a magical girl transformation. I'd probably like the gimmick more. That'd be funny.
Some sort of pose. I do not like her gear. It looks like she's wearing lederhosen.
I'm kind of shocked.
And she's from Japan and trying to sell this Japanese aesthetic.
I'm kind of shocked there's never been a Power Rangers wrestler, at least not one that I can think of. Just Power Rangers inspired.
It almost sounds like Homicide or Suicide from TNA, TJP maybe? I don't know.
Homicide's the closest I can think of outside of Hurricane's just a straight up comic book superhero. So Suicide, I guess, is the closest you're going to get to a Power Ranger. God.
I don't know if you've been watching WWE at all, but they repackaged Nikki Cross and are now calling her Nikki Ash, ASH, and it stands for almost a superhero. But superhero is one word, and it's almost a superhero. So it would be AAS, not ASH. It makes no sense. It's almost ass. Nikki Ass.
Where's Rosie? I miss Rosie.
Oh God. So that brings us to our main event of the evening. Darby Allin versus All Ego Ethan Page in the first ever AEW coffin match. This match was pretty much just a brutal Extreme Rules match with a coffin at the end.
It's so good.
It was awesome. I loved it. First thing in the match, Darby like stands right next to the coffin, and Scorpio Sky comes out of it and starts beating the crap out of him. Sting comes in, and then Sting and Scorpio Sky fight each other, kind of
The way
in
Sting
the
was
crowd
like
almost.
whipping him
And
back
then
and forth into the barricades was really cool. Just left, right, left, right.
that was that was pretty funny. And it also did you see the part where the cameraman missed the Stinger splash?
No, I like heard them call the Stinger Splash, but I
Oh, it
didn't
was
know
awful.
that they missed it. Like I was looking down for a second.
Yeah, so they went ahead and they Sting is doing the Stinger splash, and the camera pans away as he's running towards Scorpio Sky to look at Ethan Page undoing something or messing with the hook of the bottom rope or something. I don't really remember, but they miss it. They go back to it, and then the announcers go, "Oh, he missed it," and it's like, well, which one is it? It looked like he hit it, but we couldn't even see it because the cameraman missed it.
Hmm.
So is it the cameraman missed it or Stinger missed it? Who knows? He's beating the crap out of Scorpio Sky. It's pretty funny. Scorpio Sky sells pretty well. He's a great heel. I love him. All ego Ethan Page hits this nasty looking ego's edge on the steel steps on Darby Allin, and he's on the second rope as well. So he's just falling right onto his shoulders and upper back on the steel steps, and it looks disgusting.
Yeah, whenever he like picked him up for the Ego's Edge, I was just like, he's not gonna like Darby's gonna fight out of it, right? No, no, he didn't. He flew.
I don't know why. I don't know why you'd agree to go ahead and take this spot if you're Darby Allin. You've got a Death Wish, but damn, it was cool. The match ends when Darby Allin is just beating the ever loving snot out of Ethan Page, and eventually he gets him in the coffin and he wins the match. So I text Cam. I'm like, "Hey Cam, how cool would it be if he does a coffin drop through the coffin? That would be pretty cool, right?"
Very sick.
Lo and behold, next minute, Darby Allin's on the top rope and he does the coffin drop through the coffin as the final FU to Ethan Page.
Like I'm like a couple seconds ahead of you, so I texted you back, just being like, "Adam, you're psychic."
That was it was a great match. It was really fun. I'm digging these Extreme Rules match that AEW's been putting together. Every single one seems a little bit different. You got your South Beach strap match last week. You have the street fight last week as well between Penta and Kingston and the Bucks. That was so different from this coffin match, even though they're pretty much the same type of rules. So I really appreciate how AEW has been able to do that, because sometimes AEW's matches just feels like get your shit in, get your spots in, and then get the hell out of there. So I really like how all these matches are feeling different and have different vibes to them. That's really awesome.
Yeah, that's great. This is probably my favorite match of the night. Not gonna lie. Outside of the picture-in-picture part,
yeah, that's fair.
I was like, I legit like jumped out of my seat on the freaking Ego's Edge and the coffin drop through the coffin. Like that was just super exciting.
Both of those nasty. Those were really great spots.
I love Darby.
My match of the night, Darby's fantastic. He has won me over. I used to not really like him, even when he won the TNT title, since his finisher for the longest time was the roll up, and that's how he was winning all of his matches. I was kind of annoyed at that, but I have been enjoying him a lot more recently, especially with this feud with Ethan Page. It's been nothing less than fantastic for me. My favorite match of the night, probably Darby versus Page as well. This was a great match. So let me go ahead and give you a preview of next week. I have 4 confirmed matches, looks like, and we'll go ahead and we'll predict them as well. So your main event, I'm guessing, is well, let's not start with the main event. Sorry, let's start with Orange Cassidy versus The Blade next week. Any thoughts on who's going to win this one?
I think my gut's telling me to go with Cassidy. I think he's got this.
Yeah, I think Orange Cassidy's probably going to win this as well. I don't really see the Blade overcoming the singles guy in Orange Cassidy. Blade's a tag team guy. He's great. I'm loving Blade. He's doing awesome stuff in the ring and out of the ring. Quite honestly, he'd be all right getting rid of Hardy Family Office, but at this time, since he's really selling himself as kind of the mercenary character and kind of the murder for hire guy, I think he's all right with Hardy Family Office. I'm loving Blade, but I'm going to go with Cassidy with you there. Jericho versus Shawn Spears in the half Extreme Rules match. I got Jericho, and
Yeah,
I'm
Jericho's gonna
guessing
win.
that's pretty much a foregone conclusion
Yeah,
there.
that's like, come
Yeah.
on.
And then, yeah, we have Britt Baker versus Nyla Rose for the women's title, women's world title. Who do you have in this one? This one's interesting.
I think Britt's got it. I don't think she'll lose it this soon, personally.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think it is a little early for Britt to go ahead and lose the title. Do you think she's going to win by cheating of any kind, using Reba like with a crutch or anything? Do you think
It's
that's going to come into play?
possible, but I feel like the most outside wise is maybe just going to try to cancel whatever Vicky tries to pull off. They're really trying to make Britt kind of
Yeah,
a
that's true, I
tweener.
guess.
You know, she kind of goes back and forth on the fly.
That's true. She pops the crowd really well, and she's one of the most popular AEW stars. So, I mean, it'd be kind of stupid to not have her be a tweener at this point because, I mean, she needs her heel character because that's where she's shining and that's where she's been so dang good. So being a tweener probably is the right answer here, and that means that she can go up against you get your Thunder Rosa rematch, you get Nyla Rose, you can get the Hikaru Shida rematch as well, which honestly I'd be looking forward to. So with that, we have probably the main event, IWGP US title. We're doing it again next week, but this time it's Moxley versus Lance Archer in a Texas death match. Who do
Whatever
you
that
got?
entails. If there's not one cowbell, I'll be mad. I'd like to think Lance is going to take it. Personally, I think Lance needs a win, especially a big one like this. Moxley can always, him and Kingston go after the tag titles because I doubt the Dark Order is going to win them.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. Actually, I think this might be Archer's time. We've seen title changes tonight. Was there a title change on Road Rager last week? I don't think there was.
I
No,
don't
there
think
wasn't.
so.
So,
But
but there was a title change tonight with that FTW title.
yeah,
So I think it's likely we see another one. Yeah.
there's definitely more title changes in AEW when it comes to regular TV, mostly because they just have less pay-per-views, I would assume. But they almost always try to do them on the special
Yeah.
shows, and Fyter Fest is one of them. So yeah.
That's true. And then right after Fighter Fest, they have Fight for the Fallen. I don't understand why that's different from Fighter Fest or how that's different, but they both have fight in the name. So that confuses me as a stupid wrestling fan.
Fight.
Yeah. And then after that, they have the AEW. They're calling it the Homecoming Show. They're going back to Daly's place in Jacksonville for the last time before they go on tour for good. So they still got two more special shows, actually three more coming up since Fighter Fest Night 2 and Fight for the Fallen and Homecoming Show. It's crazy. So definitely this is just AEW's on fire, man. AEW's on fire and they're knocking out these special shows left and right. It's going to be crazy to have kind of a normal Dynamite at the end of this.
It's going to be weird.
Yeah, and maybe these won't even feel like normal Dynamites anymore because the fans are back. Like right now, you're still kind of, oh, it's Fighter Fest. It's the fans. It's a special. Oh, it was Road Rager. It's the fans. It's a special. It's really cool that they're going to be back for good, and I'm really excited to see how that changes just regular AEW Dynamite, not Homecoming, not Fight for the Fallen, not Fight for the Fighter Fest, not Road Rage or anything like that. I'm really excited to see what that means for the future here.
So, I'm excited for everything that's happening. I got a lot to look forward to, basically.
Yep, this will be great. I am really excited. With that, we've gone over everything we can go over here tonight. Cam, As always, it's been a pleasure talking wrestling with you here. And we should definitely do some more podcasts where it's just us kind of talking about wrestling history and things like that
Yeah,
as well. I think that would be pretty fun.
that'd be fun. Do like lists and whatnot, maybe.
Oh,
It'd be nice.
yeah. All right. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and we're going to sign off for the night. This is Adam and Cam from the Ringside Rebels. Thank you very much for joining us here for the Fyter Fest Night 1 review for AEW Dynamite on July 14th, 2021. I hope you all have an awesome night,